You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.
That we encounter, and Ian will be no different. In fact, our teams have already started to collect those lessons learned, what we can do better, what worked very well, and we will roll all of that into our foregoing strategy in preparation for the very next storm.
Already bracing for the next one. All right, Melissa Satius of Duke Energy, thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's get a check on your weather and what we can expect here in the coming days.
Yeah, meteorologist Michelle Grossman joins us now with a look. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning to you both. Great to see you. And good news is we're going to see some nice weather in Florida today for any recovery efforts. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be comfortable in the low 80s. But we are watching the remnants of Ian impacting portions of the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast. That will bring us showers, also some windy conditions, winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour times, some coastal flooding as well, and also the risk of flash flooding with some heavier downpours. Plenty of sunshine through the middle of the country, the central and southern plains, also warm, above average in the middle of the country. As opposed to the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, we're about 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Record warmth continues in the Northwest, and we are looking at those showers continuing in portions of the Northern Rockies and also parts of the Southwest. Tuesday, we're going to still see some showers in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, but drying it out on Wednesday. A few lingering showers early in the morning in New England on Wednesday. Otherwise, temperatures comfortable in the 70s. Another nice day in Florida with temperatures in the 80s, expecting to be dry once again. Showers in the Southwest on Wednesday and above average temperatures still in the Northwest. By Friday, we're looking at a nice day in portions of the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, into the Southeast, dry and sunny, an autumn chill in the Northern Plains. Temperatures only in the 50s, known as 40s in the upper Great Lakes. We're also looking at warm conditions in the South, so temperatures into the upper 80s in portions of Southern California, still warm in the Northwest as well. We are still tracking the tropics. We are looking at two areas, one on the left, Invest 91L. That has a chance to become a tropical depression in the next 5 days, a 40% chance. So we're looking at this one closely. It's east of the Windward Islands. And we're also looking at a area of low pressure, showers and storms, 70% chance of formation in the next 5 days. So we're going to be watching these two clusters of storms very, very closely. They're moving into a development zone that is conducive for development. So that is why we're keeping our eye on them. We'll keep you updated on that. Otherwise, watching the coastal storm, this is what's left over from Ian impacting the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Lots of heavy rain in spots. We saw it all weekend long. We're still seeing some heavy rain this morning. You can see those bright colors, reds, oranges, yellows, showing us where that heavy rain is falling. And we do have the chance for seeing some flash flooding, especially in portions of southern New Jersey, also Maryland. So we're going to watch this area of low pressure move off the coast. It's sort of just spinning there, bringing back this rain. Today, also tomorrow, it's going to kick up the winds to 45 miles per hour. So it's a cold day. It's a damp day, dreary day in portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. That will be the same story tomorrow. And then we begin to clear things out on Wednesday. We do have a flash flood risk. That's in portions of southern New Jersey, also Maryland, Delaware, where you see the blue here, Atlantic City. Ocean Pines could see the chance for some flash flooding. And guys, we'll end it here because we do have a coastal flood warning. 16 million impacted either by an advisory or warning. And that's because we have that onshore flow from what's left over from Ian, bringing the chance of some coastal flooding. Back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. See you in a bit.
Sure.
Well, coming up on Morning News Now, a new victory in Ukraine's fight against Russia.
Yeah, Ukrainian officials say troops are freeing villages from Russian control. What this means for the overall state of the war, plus the latest on Ukraine's push to join NATO. That's next.
Sometimes the news can be difficult.
Greetings, everyone. It's your girl, Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. And I just came on for a few just to give you guys an update on what's going on with the aftermath of this Hurricane Ian. You know, they're in the recovery state right now. So I was trying to catch a bit of it. It looks like they went through that part already. But hey, I'm just here to give a little update. I believe the death toll in Florida is at 54, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so again, we have to just keep everyone in prayer that was affected by this storm, because it's not a good feeling to lose everything that you worked so hard for. So I'm just going to keep it moving, and here's some more news update.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers.
Okay, well, they're on commercial right now. But yes, again, welcome everyone. Welcome, bro. Jay says, welcome. Pretty happy. God bless you. Hope you guys are doing well on this wonderful, beautiful Monday morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever part of the world that you are from. So I'm just going to stream about maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour and see how that goes. And then I hope you guys are having a great day. Also, I'll be on live today, but it will not be on my live stream. I'll be directly through the African portal, and I will be having on Minister O.C. Sam, and that will be directly via the African portal. If you're not following the African portal, you can kindly follow them via Facebook and YouTube, and I will be live directly through the African portal as I interview Minister O.C. Sam, who is out of Gabon. So it is promised to be an interesting interview. We're going to hear about his music, his ministry, and whatever else that falls in his spirit to discuss. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will not be here more than an hour, so maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but no more than an hour, just to give you guys an update on this news. So let me get back to it.
Tracking conditions so you will know when the coast is clear.
Keeping your plans weatherproof.
Sponsored by New South Window Solutions. Made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
At Farah and Farah, we want you to know that if you suffered property damage.
Greetings, my bro, Yoga with Goga. I'm just here giving an update on this news, the hurricane. Giving a little update, see what's going on, what's happening in this recovery process with these people that are pretty much starting over again. You know, they lost everything. Happy Monday to you as well, bro. Really appreciate it. Yes, thank you guys. Please kindly give a thumbs up if you have not yet given a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe as well. So I'll be here no more than 1 hour to give you guys an update on Ian. So here we go.
And rescue operations are still underway as hundreds of thousands face yet another day with no power.
Questions continue to mount about evacuation orders and if they came too late. Here's ABC's Rob Marciano with the latest.
This morning, the urgent search for survivors still underway following the catastrophic aftermath of Hurricane Ian, the death toll rising to 83 nationwide. In Florida, already more than 1,600 people rescued from inundated parts of the Sunshine State.
Coming your way, coming your way. Watch this foot.
As more than 600,000 customers are still without power. The lack of cell service and electricity in some areas posing challenges for search and rescue efforts. One of those areas, Pine Island, cut off from the mainland after the Causeway Bridge was severed by the storm.
Where do y'all think we're needed the most?
I would say St. James.
Here we met a group of trauma nurses and retired military, volunteering to help and provide relief to those still on the barrier island.
It's a calling, you know, it's not a job. So whenever a need arises, you know, you got to be there for your people.
Team 6. I'm in Team 6.
Pine Island resident Joe Conforti recalling the harrowing moments coming face to face with a 10-foot wall of water.
Water just kept pounding the house, and we watched boats, houses, we watched everything just go flying by. We've lost so much at this point, so we appreciate you guys being here.
This is the most southern tip of Pine Island, which got the worst of Ian's surge and wind. Many people decided to stay and ride out the storm. Most of them want to stay now, but many, for good reason, have agreed to leave.
Yeah, I got some water for you.
One resident in need of water now trying to leave the island.
The evacuation orders came pretty quickly before the storm because it changed track.
Right. So nobody really had a chance to get all our stuff together and go anyway.
Those orders now mounting questions as to whether evacuation mandates came soon enough. In Lee County, with a death toll of at least 42, officials saying they did everything they could.
I stand 100% with my county commissioners, my county manager. We did what we had to do at the exact same time. I wouldn't have changed anything. And I know being in those meetings from the very minute, this storm was very unpredictable.
Thankfully, another dry day over the storm zone, and today's forecast is easy. It's going to be sunny. But last week's forecast for Ian was challenging, and the National Hurricane Center stressed just how uncertain they were about the forecast track, when and where Ian would make landfall. And they stress that every day. They've gotten so good over the past 2 decades of the forecast track. But this one was not a slam dunk, and that made it challenging for everybody in Florida, top to bottom, clearly still is a challenge here. Rob Marciano, ABC News, Fort Myers, Florida.
Speaking of the forecast, we'll have another check of your weather with meteorologist Jason Dunning right after the break. Stay with us.
Now that the storm has passed, finding gas can be a challenge, but NBC2 has you covered. We're tracking gas stations across Southwest Florida to let you know who has it and who doesn't, so you can fuel up without the runaround, keeping your plans weatherproof.
Sponsored by New South Window Solutions. Made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Meeting with Bruce was a breath of fresh air. I mean, he gave me his card. He told me, call me anytime, and he really meant that. He would call us and say, hey, you know, is there something I can do for you? Are you guys okay? You know, this is where we're at. And I can't begin to tell you what a load off of my shoulders that was. What a relief. You know, I am grateful.
Ready? It's happening right now at Rooms to Go. Pick from 100 beautiful rooms, each under $1,500. Picture it, your home, fully furnished in your style, with living rooms under $1,500, dining rooms under $1,500, bedrooms under $1,500. So many stylish options, each under $1,500. And it gets better. Finance for $30 or less per month, interest-free for 50 months. Furnish your home to perfection. Now at Rooms to Go.
The story of a kinesiotherapist who rehabbed his golf game.
I love golf. I have always played golf.
Until he started having some mulligan-level foot pain.
Well, the golf game starts down with the feet, and if you don't have good support, you probably won't have a good golf swing.
So he got fitted for good feet arch supports.
It made it work.
Yes, welcome. Again, everyone, welcome my mom, Evangelist Lavina Thomas. Yes, so it's pretty much a search and rescue effort right now, guys. So I'm just here giving an update, and I believe they are back now. So let me tune back in.
Good morning, everyone. It is 11:27. We appreciate you sticking with us as we do joint coverage with NBC2 and our sister station, ABC7. I'm NBC2 News Today anchor Lisa Spooner.
And I'm Alan Campbell. Let's take a quick check of your Monday forecast with First Alert meteorologist Jason Dunning. Jason, by the image behind you there in Babcock Ranch, beautiful day today.
Yeah, we just got one cloud in the sky and one wasp on the camera out there this morning. But overall, the forecast looks great today as we kind of get into the end of the rainy season pattern. There's that live shot from Babcock Ranch looking from Founders Square. And on the NBC2 First Alert live Doppler radar from the coast out to Lake Okeechobee, not a drop of rain, and the humidity is even a little bit lower. Hope you enjoyed this morning. Temperatures got down to the mid to upper 60s, starting to feel a little more like fall, at least our version of fall here in Southwest Florida, as we begin to warm up to the upper 70s to lower 80s. 79, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, upper 70s into Charlotte, DeSoto County, and we're up to 82 in Immokalee. And for those of you in Immokalee, you're going to be the warmest location today, but even there, we're going to stay below 90 degrees with that north wind helping to keep our temperatures a little bit on the cooler side. So here's how things look for the next 12 hours. Through the lunch hour, we stay in the low to middle 80s, 86 degrees with that full blast of sunshine from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then temperatures start to feel really comfortable closer to sunset tonight as we take a dip down into the lower 70s. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk more about the river flooding situation for those of you along the Imperial River, the Mayaka River, the Peace River, flooding very serious there. We'll talk about when conditions will really start to improve for you, and that's about 15 minutes away.
We have new information coming into our newsroom about a massive fire in Cape Coral last night. We know 2 people suffered burns. 1 person was taken to a burn center. A 3rd person suffered smoke inhalation. Firefighters say the cause of the fire was an improperly maintained generator housed on the lanai. You can count on NBC2 and ABC7 for updates as we learn more. Well, some good news this morning. If you live in Cape Coral, most people should have water turned back on today.
That is absolutely good news. Reporter Chandler Blackman is in Cape Coral right now. And Chandler, what is the message from the city today?
Well, many people in Cape Coral are still waking up to the sight of debris like this off the side of the road. But today we have good news to start the week. Your water is expected to kick back on today. The goal today is to be back at 100%. We know a lot of you did not have water for several days, but be aware the sewer lift stations are still not fully energized. So if you do have water, The city asks you try to conserve it.
That's a relief. It makes some of the cleanup that you need to do more doable. Even though it's not good water, just to rinse off after sweating all day feels good.
Now, there is a chance you will still see bubbling water on the roads and pipes are broken. If you see anything abnormal, you can call 311. I'm in Cape Coral, Senator Blackman.
Well, here's one less thing you have to worry about if you live in Lehigh Acres. There is no longer a boil water notice in effect there. The city runs on a different water system than most of Lee County, so your water is even safe to drink. Same goes for the city of Bonita Springs. However, if you live in other portions of Lee County, also Chandler just mentioned Cape Coral, parts of Naples, Charlotte County, you will still need to continue boiling your water until further notice.
And as people wait for power and water, the city of Cape Coral is also looking at how to clean up the yards, including things that have fallen off your home, tree branches, and normal garbage pickup. Neighbors, well, they're coming together to put the debris into piles.
Yeah, I was helping with a chainsaw, gasoline powered one and electrical one. We have the resources. Thanks God we are in America and we can deal with that. I come from Cuba where hurricane has been since early 50s and still nothing has been recovered yet.
City officials say trucks are on their way to pick up debris. They're asking you to take your trash out to the curb like you normally would. Trucks will be coming through your neighborhood multiple times a day.
Lee County has announced multiple drop-off sites, which are now open. So if you've got hurricane debris, you just want to get out of there, the following locations are open from 7:30 to 6:30 p.m. In Lehigh Acres, you have mosquito control. In Fort Myers, you have Brooks Park and San Carlos Utility Site. In North Fort Myers, you have the opportunity to go to the Shell Factory. If you own a business, you are being encouraged to take the debris to the Waste to Energy facility on Buckingham Road until 6 p.m. It opens at 6 a.m. And if you have a landscaping company, what you will need to do is have a signed declaration from the resident indicating the address where that debris came from.
Well, if you are looking for a job, Lee County is holding several hiring events next week to help out with debris removal. There's no physical labor and no experience is needed. Now, that hiring event is today and Tuesday at 4 p.m. and Wednesday through Friday. One is at 11 a.m., another is at 3 p.m. These are in the jury parking lot on Broadway Circle in Fort Myers. You have to attend in person to be hired. And if you are looking to help with the recovery efforts while making a few extra dollars, listen up. Tetra Tech and Saris is looking to hire Cape Coral residents to staff disaster relief recovery crews across the city. Jobs are immediately available, and residents have the potential to earn more than $1,400 a week.
If you need assistance cleaning up damage, you can call 1-800-451-1954. Crisis Cleanup will connect you with volunteers who can assist you with things like cutting up fallen trees, tarping roofs, mold mitigation, drywall, flooring, and appliance removal. All these services are free. However, service is not guaranteed because you can imagine there is an overwhelming need. That hotline will remain open through Friday, October 28th. If you live in Charlotte County, I want you to listen to this. All Charlotte County parks, libraries, pools, rec centers, they are closed until further notice. It's unsafe to visit any parks at this time because of hanging tree limbs, erosion, other hazards, but we will be sure to let you know as soon as they do open back up.
Well, if you need some fuel, and we know a lot of you do, you may want to head to South Lee County. We've seen lines wrap around gas stations. However, by Sunday afternoon, some places were actually running smoothly. In Bonita Springs, people waited just 20 minutes in line. Some say it's worth the drive to avoid the chaos.
And one more hour, 4 hours later, I'm right there waiting to get in there.
Only about 10 minutes here, which is perfect.
Remember, several gas stations, especially in Cape Coral, still don't have power and have to wait for it to be restored in order to turn the pumps back on. Remember, everyone needs gas right now, so only take what you need.
Remember, Florida's gas tax is waived this month, and this was actually done before Hurricane Ian came through. Governor DeSantis signed off on it, and for the entire month of October, you will save 25 cents per gallon of gas. Of course, that's great news because right now we're going to be wanting to save as much money as we can here and there. Hey, a lot of you have been wondering and asking about this. Southwest Florida International Airport is going to be open starting this Wednesday, October 5th. Going to be a bit limited, so here's what you need to know. Flights are only going to be operating from 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. So there's going to be a limited number of them. Security checkpoints will be open from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Concessions will have limited supplies. The restrooms will be open, but they will not have drinking water.
Right now, the Naples airport is back up and running. Now, due to the damage at the airfield, it'll only operate from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. each day. Remember, Tampa International and St. Pete Clearwater airports are also open now.
If you need to get to Fort Lauderdale or Miami International Airports, one-way shuttle services are being offered from Hertz Arena. Shuttle service is $35 per person, and each shuttle holds up to 55 people. We've had a lot of people writing in asking about this, wanting to know about it, and you do need to register. However, there's not a website or a phone number to go to. It is strictly a first-come, first-served basis. The first shuttle each day departs Hertz at 6 a.m. with registration opening at 5:30 a.m. The second one is at noon with registration starting at 11:30. It's important to note you are not allowed to park your car long-term at Hertz Arena. That shuttle schedule will continue until further notice. Much more to come on our coverage of Hurricane Ian's recovery in Southwest Florida. We'll be right back.
Meeting with Bruce.
All right. So as you can see, they're still in the recovery effort. So let's just pray for the best that these people can go about their normal lives very soon. And as I just heard, gas prices, the tax on gas is pretty much waived until the end of the month. So guess what? I'm going to go run to get some gas as soon as I'm done with this live stream. Let me tell you, guys, if you're in the Florida area, go run and get your gas. Go get your gas. Go get your gas because taxes are waived. Let me tell you, those taxes are very hefty, which is what brings up the price of gas. I'm just happy that gas is actually going down now. So it's not as bad. In my area, I believe we're at $3.09. That's a big gap from when it was like almost $4. That's US dollars to be exact. So we're at $3.09 in my area. I'm not sure about other areas. So again, I'm not going to be here more than an hour, guys. I'll be here for 38 more minutes, and then I'll be closing out because I have to set up for bringing Minister O.C. Sam via the African portal. I will not be streaming on my live stream today. I will be via the African portal with Minister O.C. Sam out of Gabon. So if you're not following the African portal, kindly follow the African portal via YouTube and Facebook. Greetings, EK. No, I was not affected. Just a little wind and rain. That's it. Nothing that a rake can't fix. So we're doing good. I'm on the east side of Florida, and the damage was on the west coast of Florida. So just got to pray for those that were affected. So again, guys, I will not be streaming on my live stream today. I will be directly via the African portal today with Minister O.C. Sam. So we're going to get to know about his music ministry and whatever else it is that he would like to talk about. And again, let's just keep west coast of Florida in your prayers as they're going through a tough time right now. So I'm going to go back over to the news now, guys.
Not complain about our weather forecast. We've got Jason putting some finishing touches on the weather forecast for us.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to walk over to the wall. I was going to come up. I wanted to come up and join you two, but I'm just going to come over here into the NBC2 First Alert Storm Tracking Center. We've got a lot of questions about sheet flow, and clearly because of the river flooding that we're having to deal with. And as we look at the Doppler estimated rainfall totals, now this is for the last 7 days. Look at some of these totals here across central parts of Florida, because it's not just the rain that falls over southwest Florida that's kind of seeping down into the rivers. It's what's to the north of us, because the elevation drops as you go farther south. And that's basically what sheet flow is, the transport of some of this runoff into the rivers, bays, and waterways. And you can see some of these staggering rainfall totals just north of Port Charlotte and up through the Orlando area, around 10 to 15, even closer to 20 inches of rain. So I'm hearing from a lot of you in Bonita Springs about the Imperial River. And here's a look at where we are right now. The good news is we've crested Bad news is there's a lot of serious flooding there along the Imperial, but we're going to see a slow, gradual improvement. So I think as we get into the weekend and into early next week, we're going to get back closer to minor flood stage. So you should not see the water levels continue to rise. Same goes for the Mayaka River. Now we're up close to record territory right now, but at least we're starting to get below that record line. So this is where we are right now. You can see that line here. And as we get closer to the weekend, that line will continue to steadily drop. So I think for those of you kind of right there on the cusp, you're going to start to see some dry ground over the next couple of days. And then the Peace River, now this is at Arcadia at State Road 70. This is where the flooding has just been terrible there along the Peace River. And we've had issues there going back to the second half of the rainy season, but you can see we're eventually going to come out of that major flood stage. It probably won't be, though, until the end of the week into Sunday and into Monday, but conditions will steadily improve. And what's more important is we're not expecting to see any substantial rainfall over the next several days. We're clear and quiet right now in the NBC2. First alert live Doppler radar. We've got our winds coming in from the north. And that northerly flow will keep that dry air flowing, and then you're going to notice that low humidity as well. Temperatures over the next several hours will make it up to around 86 degrees. Average for this time of year for our daytime high at least is 89, so we're going to be running about 4 to 5 degrees below the average and taking it into the evening through 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock tonight, you can see temperatures drop off pretty quickly, and that tends to happen when we have a dry air mass in place, so it doesn't have that tropical muggy feel that we've seen for the last several months now that we have that dry air getting transported into our area. Temperatures by the afternoon up to 86 degrees in Fort Myers and Cape Coral. For those of you in Estero and Bonita Springs, also popping up to the middle 80s. We'll see upper 80s east of I-75 between the interstate and Lake Okeechobee. And then look at our morning temperatures tomorrow. Now, this is going to feel really nice, especially if you still don't have power. You have to leave your windows open. It's going to feel cool and refreshing. 66 in Fort Myers, 67 in the Cape, and temperatures getting as low as the lower 60s across Charlotte and DeSoto County. We're down to the mid to upper 60s across Collier County. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the tropics because I know we're kind of fatigued from the tropics after Hurricane Ian, but I do want to just bring your attention to a couple of things because if you've been on social media, you may have heard some folks talking about a couple of tropical waves. So I just want to put your mind at ease that we don't have any tropical threats right now to Southwest Florida. And we'll let you know if anything changes. We've got this tropical wave over the eastern Atlantic with a 70% chance to develop, and then one heading over toward the Caribbean with a 40% chance to develop. But this is a pretty hostile environment right now for tropical development, and most of the forecast models bring it over closer to Central America anyway. But again, we'll let you know if anything changes, but nothing to worry about over the next several days. We're going to be bright and sunny through Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the middle 80s, morning lows getting down to the middle to upper 60s. So it's going to feel pretty nice, especially at night and early in the morning with that low humidity. And as far as our rain chances are concerned, we're really not going to see a threat for any kind of isolated showers until Sunday. So lots of time for the ground to dry up. And even when we do see rain, we're not expecting to see any of those big thunderstorms developing like we do during the rainy season. That's your NBC2 First Alert Forecast.
All right, Jason, thank you. Now we're going to go to our Joshua Cole. He's with Liz Bello Matthews with an update from the city of Fort Myers, I believe. Joshua?
We're here at the Fort Myers Fire Station 1. This is kind of the main headquarters, the EOC for Fort Myers, and all the operations that they're doing to make sure that we are getting back on our feet here in the city of Fort Myers. And you can see they have lots of supplies back here. They have a lot of their crews are actually, we watched a bunch of them leave just a little while ago. But as we said, Liz Bello Matthews is here with us right now. And Liz, I know you guys are working a ton. You're probably one of the hardest working people right here right now. But our fire crews right now, we were just talking about how they are manning a lot of our intersections along with police at the moment. Can you talk about, just give us an update as to where we are as far as making sure that traffic is running smoothly in our city?
Well, at this time, it's literally all hands on deck. We have PD that has literally all of their resources out there. And so our fire team has also put out all of their resources out there to ensure that, we don't have any accidents. That's not what we need right now. We have too much going on and we don't want to have to deviate our resources to manage accidents. So we want everyone to just remember that if there is no street light, to please treat it as a four-way stop. That's the most important takeaway right now.
And you brought up, where we don't see street streetlights. Obviously, power, a big issue here in Fort Myers. A lot of people are still without it. Do you have an update? I know you were with the directors a little bit ago. Where are we in just making sure that we're back on our feet?
So in all of Lee County, we've had approximately 179,000 that have gotten power again, and we still have about 106,000 that don't have it. But that effort is currently underway, literally nonstop. We are getting updates every 3-4 hours as to where we are, what's missing, and what's next. So we just need everybody to be as patient as possible because no one is sitting. We have been nonstop since before the storm. Most of us, literally, I would say all of us at this point are working pretty much 16-hour days. And, you know, everything that can be done is being done. Just please hang tight. Let us do our jobs. Try to not be on the road so that we can move as quickly as possible, not just with the electric grid, but also with the water situation.
And that brings us right into water. You know, I'm fortunate enough that I was able to get my power back, my internet back. You know, I'm very blessed in that kind of way. But water is still something that myself I don't have back just yet. And I know we're working to get some repairs done around the city. Do we have an update for that?
Well, yes, absolutely. So with the electric coming back onto some of our wells and our water plant, we are in a completely different shape right now. We're starting to be able to bring water back to the city. So there's a lot of neighborhoods that are already starting to get it. There are some that have not been able to get it yet, but that is underway. And you're going to see neighborhoods coming online literally every hour as we can make that possible. So it really comes down to where we don't have, where we're able to find those leaks. So another thing that we've been able to do is ask the public to please report if they see any water bubbling from the ground. And let me give you that phone number. It's 239-37. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the phone number.
Liz has a lot of information. We're going to make sure that gets up on NBC-2.com. But
321-7000. I'm so sorry. I've been given tons of phone numbers, and we changed it last minute. We had one number that was not working, and so we had to do a quick switch. And so at this point, we're all on information overload, and it's changing every 5 seconds. But we are trying to get it out there, you know, through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, and of course, our website. That's the most important place to go to.
And we do have a lot of resources here around the city that we're getting. I know there's a lot of churches getting involved in just making sure that people have stuff. I mean, just behind us here, we have, you know, those cases of water. Is there anywhere that people can go to through the city to be able to either donate or receive help if they need it? Because like we said, not everyone has that water back online just yet.
Right. So again, I'm going to say, please go to the website. It's www.cityftmyers.com. There's a full list there, but I'll give you the top 3 places. Flea Masters is providing water, non-perishable items. It's got more than enough, so please go there. In addition to that, we have the Stadium that's providing water right now and ice and non-perishable food items. And we also have the Stars Complex that's providing all of those items as well. So we just want to make sure that everybody knows where to go, but there's more. There's churches, there are community partners that are stepping up and providing these services. So check the website, and I'm literally updating that website. I'd like to say every hour, but really it's happening every 10 minutes at this point.
And I can say firsthand, just since I communicate with you so much, that you are constantly in contact with a lot of our city officials. So we're always getting those updates through Liz as well. So in addition to all those resources, NBC-2.com and ABC-7.com too. We're going to try to relay all of that too as well. So we can try to get this all across the board to make sure everybody knows, especially here in the Fort Myers area, where exactly to go. Liz, thank you very much for giving us an update. And we're going to continue to update you with the progress that we're seeing here in Fort Myers with both the cleanup as well as just making sure that we get our utilities back online. As you just heard from there with Liz, every hour we're starting to see neighborhoods in our area start to get water back. It's a big thing that we have. And I know yesterday y'all said that one of the fire stations was allowing showers. You know, that's a big resource that a lot of people have needed in the last couple of days. So we're keep you updated. We're live this morning or this afternoon now in Fort Myers. I'm Joshua Cole.
All right, and speaking of updated, thank you so much, Joshua. We've got this, an estimated time of power restoration, and it's good news. It's been moved up for Florida Power and Light customers. Again, not LCEC, but FP&L now says power should be restored in Charlotte, DeSoto, Glades, Hendry, Highlands, Lee, and Sarasota counties by Friday, October 7th. Now, initially, the company said they could restore the power by Sunday. It's important to note, though, the Friday date does not include areas which experienced heavy flooding.
That is some good news for sure. Well, the Lodge in downtown Fort Myers at 2278 First Street is open today. They have 400 plus free hot to go meals, and they partner with Bacardi to provide 250 plus 16-pound bags of purified ice to the community. So take full advantage of that.
This week, residents across Southwest Florida can take advantage of free food trucks until food is gone. So at 9131 College Parkway in Fort Myers, on Tuesday, Classy Chicks are going to be open starting at 11:30. On Santa Barbara Boulevard in the Cape, you can grab food from Stop, Wrap, and Roll later today, starting 11:30. And on Tuesday, Joe's Jumbo Wiener is going to start at 10 a.m. along with Stop, Wrap, and Roll again at 11:30 a.m. Then at 2481 North Del Prado Boulevard in the Cape, street food will be open Monday starting at 11:30. So they're open now. And Luna's will be open Wednesday starting at 10.
Gotta love a good food truck. That's great.
Yes.
Plus, it's free food. Well, today, the Farmers Market Restaurant will have a food truck open in Fort Myers at 2736 Edison Avenue. Starts at noon, so in less than 10 minutes until they run out of food. They plan to fully reopen once they have power and safe water to use.
If you're in need of some cuteness after Hurricane Ian, we've got it for you. The Caddy Shack and Gulf Coast Town Center is open today until 4 p.m. They do have a limited menu, but it includes coffee, hot sandwiches, beer and wine for those of you who need that for a little bit. You can also use their outlets, by the way, to charge your electronics. Wi-Fi is also back. They are accepting donations for the Gulf Coast Humane Society, so you can help our furry friends as well.
If you are missing your pizza fix, Domino's Pizza is open inside the Walmart on 4770 Colonial Boulevard in Fort Myers. They are accepting cash, and they're also accepting some credit cards as well. Well, today, Avalon Dental is open. You can call 239-454-1150 to make an appointment. No walk-ins will be accepted. The office is located at 16400 Health Park Commons Drive in Fort Myers.
The Prado Theater in Bonita Springs is now open. They're even having a special right now, $6 movies, their bar and restaurant. They're both also open. And if you need a place to charge your devices and you live in the Cape, here's some electronic charging stations that are being offered up by the city. Each day at City Hall, Police Department headquarters, and all fire department stations, except Station 10. That's the exception. These are available daily from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Don't go anywhere. There's more Ian recovery coverage when we come back.
I'm Sheriff Carl.
All right. So, like I say, I'm just here to give updates because there are some people who don't have their internet yet. So they probably have their phone and they can watch the live stream via their phone and get the update on this. So, just popped in my head to just try to help out any way that I can by going live, because I do know some people that are in the affected area. We also have one of our churches that's over there as well in the affected area. So if they can tune in from their phone, they can see what's going on. If their Wi-Fi isn't working and they are limited to their cellular data, then they can check in when they get the chance, because you can't just drain out your battery. So they can always go back and catch the recap whenever it is that they come online. So I will be here for 22 more minutes. 22 more minutes and I'll be out of your way. I just want to do at least 1 hour update so that people across the globe can be updated with what's going on, because I have people calling me, but I tell them I'm not in the area that's affected because I'm on the west side of Florida. I'm sorry, the east side of Florida, and the storm hit the west side of Florida, mostly the west coast. So, we just have to pray for them. They have that bridge that went down, and that bridge is one way in, one way out. So the only way they can come out is by air or by boat. So, we just have to keep them prayed up. And that bridge recovery is going to take, they said, at least a year to repair that bridge. And I always wanted to go there to Sanibel and Pine Island. I always wanted to visit those places and never got the opportunity to go visit there. And I heard that it's so beautiful there. But, God is God, It's beyond our control, but all we can do is just put up a prayer for these people because they're going to need it. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you all. So as soon as the news come back up, I'm going to keep you guys updated. So again, as a reminder, if you guys aren't busy later on, I will have Minister O.C. Sam joining me on the African Portal today at 1 o'clock p.m. Jamaica time, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 o'clock UK, Nigeria, and Gabon. And that is 8 o'clock p.m. South Africa time. So if you're not following the African Portal via Facebook or YouTube, kindly slide over there and show them some support. All right, so I'm going to slide on back over here on the news, and let's see what's going on over there.
Matt Maurice. Also, hundreds of animals collected in Collier County in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian are now heading out to the northeast to find new forever homes. The Humane Society of Naples has seen a major influx of animals following the storm. All of these animals could have been victims to Hurricane Ian. They took in pets from Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Fort Myers Beach.
We just scrambled to go get as many as we can and work with this incredible network in Florida of humane societies and throughout the country to get them safe and sound.
The Humane Society is already stockpiling supplies. They are preparing for even more animals as people start returning home and deciding if they can take care of their pets.
Today, if you need clothes or other items, Goodwill is giving out vouchers for anyone who has lost personal items due to Hurricane Ian. You can pick up a $25 voucher from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. At a few Goodwill stores, including the ones at Del Prado in Cape Coral, the one on La Belle, which is on South Lee Street. There's another one on Bonita Beach Road Southeast, one at Challenger Boulevard in Fort Myers, and finally at Cape Christian Church in Cape Coral. The Goodwill Mobile Community Resource Center will also be at Cape Christian to provide internet and computer access if you need it. We know a lot of you are searching for gas, supplies, hot meal, maybe a place to charge up, and we're working to make that easier for you to find.
Yeah, we have compiled a list of food distributions and places that are serving food. They're up right now on our websites, both NBC-2.com and ABC-7.com. There you can find a whole list of resources available for you
and
where
constantly
you can get them.
updating.
Exactly. And if you know anywhere that has that's serving hot food, that has gas available, the lines are short, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. All right. We're going to continue our coverage here on both NBC2 and ABC7. We're getting ready for a shift change. We've got Kyla Gaylor, Chris Redford coming in on the anchor desk, and meteorologist Lauren Hope joining them. So we hope you'll stick with us. There's much more to come as we continue to put one foot in front of the other and build towards recovery.
Now that the
All right. So they're going to do a shift change. So again, I'm just trying to bring this news. I'll be here for another 18 more minutes. So 18 more minutes to keep everybody updated, and then I'll be out of your way because I have to prepare for my interview with Minister O.C. Sam. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Again, I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is feeling well. And we have to just keep praying for these people that were affected by this storm, because let me tell you, it's not a pretty sight. It's like the more they get out there, the more we see the damages that are happening out there. So we just have to keep them in our prayers. So again, welcome everyone. Greet you all in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Yoga. I appreciate you. Yeah, so just 20 more minutes. Not even 20 minutes. 27 more minutes. I'm counting out. No, what am I talking about? I can't even add. 17 more minutes to be exact, and I'll be out of your way because I have to relax a little bit before I go live. And again, I will not be live on my platform today. I'll be directly on the African Portal only today and the next few Mondays for the time being. And then later down the line, I'll be going through mine as well as them. But for now, I'm directly through the African Portal. You know, we have to help our brothers and sisters in Christ out as much as we can. So again, I want to thank you all. Appreciate you all. And just waiting for this update to come back on, and then we'll slide back on over there to this update. So again, let's keep all these people that are affected by the storm in your prayers. I mean, a lot of them starting from scratch now. Took some of them, their whole life saving is gone. Their house is gone. Their car is gone. Some have lost their lives. So, you know, condolences to all those who have lost a family member in this horrific storm that passed through. I mean, never seen anything this horrible. I've been in Florida all 46 years of my life, And I have not seen a storm do this much damage. I mean, they had some that was bad, but this one here, this one took the cake right here. Let me tell you. So they're back on. So let me slide over there.
Continues on this Monday.
Yeah, we're continuing to simultask combining our stations NBC2 and ABC7 for most of today as we deal with a really tough situation here in Southwest Florida. We do want to start with weather, though. Let's go ahead and bring in one of our first alert meteorologists, Lauren Hope. Lauren, another beautiful day in Southwest Florida. At least it looks like it behind you.
Another gorgeous one. Yeah, that's right. After a couple days where we've had blue skies, dry conditions, and low humidity, that trend only continuing as we take you throughout the day today. This has been the one silver lining throughout the entire past 48 hours. The River District live camera showing the Caloosahatchee looking a lot calmer. We still got blue skies out there as we take you into the afternoon. Time now right at noon. And we are going to see still that slow warm up into the late afternoon. The NBC2 First Alert live Doppler radar sweeping clear across Southwest Florida, and we expect a pretty dry outlook over the next week. One of the last things you want to be worrying about is the weather. And I've got great news. It's not going to be a concern. Temperatures right now, 81 degrees for Fort Myers, 80 degrees for LaBelle, 80 degrees for Immokalee, 79 degrees still holding to the 70s, feeling wonderful for Arcadia, 78 degrees. 79 for Cape Coral, and we'll continue to see just that low humidity. The dew points down into the 60s for most of the region, indicating a pretty comfortable feel out there, at least in comparison to what it could have been for early October, with sometimes very muggy conditions still at play. I am tracking a high of 86 degrees. We'll get there by around 3 o'clock, but not for long. It'll be a pretty quick cool down all over again tonight. By 7 o'clock around sunset, we're back down into the upper 70s, and we'll drop back down into the upper 60s overnight. I'll have more details coming up in 15 minutes.
Thanks for that, Lauren. So we know a lot of folks are just now getting power back on, just now able to see what we're up against here in Southwest Florida as we move from the storm into the rescue, recovery, and rebuilding phase. So I wanted to show you a few kind of before and after images of some of the hardest hit areas in Southwest Florida. So this is a Google Earth image. This is showing Fort Myers Beach. So in the kind of center of your screen, this is the Matanzas Pass Bridge. So as you come over that crest down onto Fort Myers Beach, come into Times Square and the Winds Beach and Surf Shop, this is what it looks like now. It's almost unrecognizable. There's some new images that we're looking at right now. These are from NOAA. They've actually had their satellites doing scans of the area in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. And we can look at this in real time and kind of scan around some of the hardest hit areas. So again, this is that same area of Fort Myers Beach. You can see, let's zoom in here. The pier is completely gone at this point. We are waiting for a press conference from Sheriff Carmine Marcino, by the way. So if we cut out of these images, our producer just came in my ear and said she will keep me posted. So you can see the Fort Myers Beach Pier is completely gone. As we continue to head south down Estero Boulevard, this looks a lot better. These images were taken a couple days ago now, and one of the big things that they've been working on is just actually clearing a path on Fort Myers Beach because there was just so much debris. You can't see pavement anywhere. We'll go back to the Google Earth image. Wow. I mean, you could just tell the contrast looking back and forth between these. I mean, this is a 3-lane road, center turn lane, and then whenever we look at what it looks like today, there is, and our reporters are telling us the same thing. I mean, there's 6-8 foot of sand on the ground in some of these different areas. It is just devastating and heartbreaking to see because a lot of these homes, these one-story classic, kind of old Florida feeling homes, they're all multicolored and one-story, largely made of, my producer's talking to me as well. Did you say the press conference is starting right now? Okay, we're still waiting on the press conference. Let's go ahead and keep looking at some of these images as we make our way down Fort Myers Beach. But yeah, all these classic little Florida homes that added so much charm to Fort Myers Beach, really gave it a lot of its character, are largely gone. Another area I want to show you, you may have seen these images already. This is the one that really put things into perspective whenever we woke up on Thursday after the storm moved through, and that is the Sanibel Causeway. So initially we saw images from our reporter on the ground, Gage Golding, showing us this gap and the Sanibel Causeway, where part of it had fallen into the Gulf. As the sun came up, we started to realize it wasn't just one area, the causeway, that was damaged. It was actually, they say, 5 areas. But as we work our way over to the first Sanibel Causeway Island, you could see it's no longer an island. It's almost a channel. And as we zoom in closer, you can see, I mean, this is a wide road. This is an area that there's enough parking for dozens and dozens of cars. You'd see hundreds of people out on the beach in this area, watching the windsurfers, one of the best spots in Southwest Florida for that.
Chris,
and this island is gone.
Can you move the satellite image to the area of the road leading up to the causeway? I'm curious to see what
Yes,
that looks
yeah.
like.
So this is that area that you were reporting from day of, Kyla, and you can kind of talk about what this looked like. So I think this is one of the areas you were standing where it was really kind of cratered out in different portions.
Yeah, I was standing there, but if you keep going back, I was also a little bit farther back looking at the road, which looked like an earthquake happened on the road just from where the slabs of asphalt and concrete were thrown all over the place. So yeah, if you zoom in right there, Chris.
So this is the end of the image, just so folks understand. There's a little swath right here on McGregor Boulevard that we can't quite see because the satellite hasn't scanned that specific area. But Kyla, I believe this was about as far as our live trucks could get before you guys were actually having to get out on foot and hike up the road. Is that right?
Yeah, that looks like the right area we were standing in for most of the morning until we moved a little bit closer to the bridge for the rest of the day. Can you zoom in any farther?
That's as close as we could zoom in on these images right now.
Yeah, but you can see there's no road left there either. Everything was just pushed up by that powerful storm surge. And that's also 4 lanes, and pieces of the road were, thrown across the road in places that no road ever existed before the storm. So it shows you just again how powerful this storm was, and just ripped up roads, ripped up bridges, concrete, really nothing could stand in its way.
I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can show you why this is such an issue, because right now there is no good way on or off Sanibel Island. We get here, actually, we're taking a look at the other Sanibel Causeway Island. You can see this one, it has another channel ripped in it. I mean, there is no way by any sort of land vehicle that you can get to Sanibel right now. And that's been a huge issue. Kyla, right now, the only way on and off the island is boat and helicopter. You experienced that firsthand. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I went out there by boat on Saturday, and there are still more rescue crews going out there. Some of them are volunteer. That's who I tagged along with. But there are first responders. When I was out on the island, I saw a number of Sanibel firefighters and also some firefighters from Broward County. But a lot of people were stranded for days. I met a mom and her 16-year-old daughter. They had nothing to eat but the scraps they found on the streets for days, because they had no way of getting to anyone, no way of calling for help. There's absolutely no signal on the island. There's barely any infrastructure left. All the vegetation is just ripped up. It does look like someone picked up the island, shook it around, and then put it back down. That's kind of the only way I can explain it, or a bomb went off, because it's just in shambles and pieces. A lot of the buildings there were still standing, some of them at least, but when you look inside, there's just nothing left. And then you can see it did a number to the shoreline everywhere too, which I think is just one of the most interesting parts of this storm, how much it changed sandbars and lifted things up from underneath. And I think you can kind of see some of that in other areas from the satellite image, not from this one.
Well, I mean, what you're talking about right there,
Right.
Kyla,
Yeah.
you could see these almost scars that are now carved in the sand and the beach here on Sanibel. We're not just from the storm surge coming in, but that's a lot of water that was then being sucked back out into the Gulf from areas that were flooded. And it's interesting you hearing about it, because you've had an on-the-ground perspective up until this point. The only images until you actually got out there on the island were either satellite images or helicopter images. And you're exactly right. Compared to a lot of those kind of classic older houses built in the 60s and 70s that we saw on Fort Myers Beach, most of these a little bit more modern structures that most are built to withstand a hurricane, you can see that they are clearly standing. They're not decimated in quite the same way that we have seen in areas of Pine Island, Matlacha, Fort Myers Beach. But it's interesting hearing you talk about what it looks like on the ground. So looking in these houses, I mean, you'd assume that floodwaters were deep inside people's living rooms. Is that right, Kyla?
Yeah, I would say so. I was talking to Sanibel firefighters, and they told me they think about 6-foot storm surge covered the entire island. And that's why now the whole island is covered in a thick layer of slippery sludge.
Could you see really make out the roads when you were out there? What does it look like actually trying to get around the island?
Yeah, the roads look like some of them had been cleared. And I was only in one spot of the island, so I can't speak for the entire area. The neighborhood I was in, it was around, I believe, Point Siena Avenue. That was pretty destroyed. Right now, you're looking at some aerials from the island. Again, you can see that there are a lot of buildings standing, which does give me hope for rebuilding. Hopefully, if it's not the actual structure and the bones of a house or a business, maybe that will help rebuild a little bit faster. But look at all the vegetation. Like nothing could stand in the way of this storm. It was pretty powerful. But I mean, most of the houses do look like that too. There are some that are just also look very similar to Fort Myers Beach, where there's absolutely nothing left and it's just broken into a million little pieces.
That's one of the things that's really stood out for me whenever you look at these images, you know, comparing and contrasting what we're seeing on Google Earth and satellite scans from before versus what we're looking at now with the latest satellite images. So right now, this is a before shot. I'll zoom out just a little bit so you know where we're coming from. This is heading down Pine Island Road, like you're coming from Cape Coral, heading towards Pine Island and Matlacha. And this is, again, like Sanibel, one of the big issues right now. There are still a lot of people that are stuck on Pine Island because this is what Pine Island Road looks like now.
Yeah.
Almost unrecognizable. I'd say, judging by these images, maybe 15% of the structures are still standing in this little section heading out towards Matlacha. And again, right now, the only way on and off the island is they do have kind of a ferry system set up now, but it's either by boat or helicopter. And this is an area that still needs a lot of help. People say they don't have supplies, they don't have water, they don't have electricity. We know there are some crews that are scrambling to get some of these Starlink satellite transmitters out in that area so people can get in touch with families. All right, I'm hearing from my producer right now. The press conference has started. Let's go ahead and listen in on that live
Brevard
right
County
now.
Sheriff Wayne Ivey. Search and rescue teams have been out countless hours, straight through the night, nonstop, with over 800 rescues. That's huge. That's 800 people that we were able to touch that were in desperate need of help. Our death toll is at 54. As we continue this rescue, there are challenges. And our EOC has made a decision with Fort Myers Beach to close the beach to residents. And the reason being is we need to access what were roads and now rubble. We need to be able to get that equipment in to make certain that we are preserving, not only rescuing, but preserving crime scenes. I know there are a lot of people that are upset by that, but we have to make certain that we, collectively as a team, do it right the first time, because we get one chance. When someone is deceased, we have to make sure that we collect that evidence. We have to do it properly. We cannot contaminate the scene. And the last thing that we need is other people being in the way of that, or for their safety being in an unsecured place where they could get hurt. Our focus is on life-saving, law enforcement, and most important, maintaining law and order in the county. I briefly stated and touched on looting. Look, folks, we took a horrific hit here. It's heartbreaking. We have residents that have lost everything. In hours, have nothing. No clothes, no housing, nothing. And it's heartbreaking. But I will tell you this with certainty. When I say zero tolerance, I mean zero tolerance. We are out in full force. We have quadrupled the number of law enforcement that's on the streets, with our National Guard being deployed all over the islands, the Barrier Islands, and in Pine Island specifically. We're not going to tolerate any type of looting. And I also make a quick statement and tell you that if someone makes that grave mistake and they choose to loot, they might be able to walk into someone's home. They might. But they will be carried out. I ain't playing games. We aren't playing games. We have sheriffs from all over the state of Florida the sheriff himself, of different departments that are here aiding and assisting to make certain we don't have that. We have 8 urban search and rescue teams. This is not just a cursory search. This is a very tedious. We have to go to every single residence, find exactly where that residence is or was, and go through rubble to make certain that heavy equipment are not coming in and, God forbid, removing rubble if there is evidence, if there is a God forbid, a deceased person in that rubble. And we have to be certain about that. We have over 100 National Guard members that are being deployed specifically to Pine Island. And I'm proud to tell you, with the assistance of our great Governor Ron DeSantis, as of this morning at 0700 hours, we are working with FDOT to begin the construction of a temporary gravel bridge to get people on and off the island. These are very, very challenging times. When we first came out after the storm, we had thousands of calls holding, up to almost 4,000 calls holding. I'm proud to tell you that as of this morning, we've handled those calls and we are back to the normal operation of business and a new normal, okay? When you have thousands of calls holding, we prioritize those. But I'm glad that and I'm happy to say that because of all my fellow brothers and sisters in law enforcement and everyone here, both local, state, and federal, we have been able to get back to handling our operating calls at a normal rate. We're doing everything we can possible at every level with all the key players and decision makers, not only for law and order, but making very difficult decisions that sometimes people don't agree with. And I want to send another message out to the people that don't. These are challenging times, to say the very least. There's way too much hate. How about if you're upset, get out and do something productive and nice. Instead of bashing, instead of being out there spreading negativity, take that energy and walk next door and clean up debris on your neighbor's lawn. Go help someone, give water out to people that are in need, or food. Be a good person, because if everyone does that together, okay, we move forward in a much faster rate and the best we ever have. I'm certain while we have taken a catastrophic hit here, I don't minimize that. We haven't seen devastation like this. We're standing, 60 yards away from a 100-foot boat that's thrown into a vehicle in the mangroves like it's nothing. We don't have immediate answers, but together as a team, we get those answers, and we make the right choices and decisions for safety and security and what's best for the residents of this county and the state. What I am certain of is that in closing, we will be better than ever. It's going to be a lengthy process. As sheriffs, we like to press a button and we fix what's wrong. Unfortunately, I can't do that. There's nothing I can say in words to bring loved ones back or to help someone get back into their home. It's going to be a process. But I'm certain during this process, we're going to move forward. And times like this is when people from all over, no matter what their differences are, this is not political. It doesn't matter who you are. This is being a good human being. And this is working hard and confidently moving forward with the choices and decisions that are made, because Lee County residents and the state of Florida have great residents, and that we are going to move together as a team to be the best we've ever been. We will regroup, we will rebuild, because that's what this country is, and that's why this is the best country in the world. We're going to be the best we can be moving forward. It's going to be a process. I appreciate you, and as the sheriff, I stand with all of you here, committed. The men and women out there 24/7 from all over. I've never seen such great attitudes in my life. As I walk around and get to talk to the people that have been out there working tirelessly around the nights from all over the states, who've left their loved ones behind. And sometimes they were in the middle of the aftermath of this storm, but just didn't face the devastation like this. They're all saying thank you and thanking us for being here. What a blessing is that for people to come from all over when that bell rings to come help us here in Lee County. I can't say thank you enough, again, to the people that have been out there, the public outreach and continuous people that want to help. And also the best way to help is try to keep the roadways clean. Try to stay off the roadways if possible, because we need everything. We're running lights and sirens to get to different missions. And the quicker we can get to these missions and move forward, the quicker we can recover. It's a blessing to serve all of you. I'll take some questions.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a blessed, safe, wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever part of the world that you are from. Again, if you guys aren't busy in the next 10 minutes, kindly support my brother Yoga with Goga. He has a premiere that will be starting in 10 minutes. It's pinned up there. So just kindly go ahead and support him if you can. And if you're not busy later this evening, guys, I'll be live with Mr. O.C. Sam on the African portal only. I will not be streaming through my live stream today, only via the African portal, South Africa, on Facebook and YouTube, and also on their radio. So God bless you all. Have a blessed, safe, wonderful evening. And I'll be back later on with more updates if there's any updates. So God bless you all. Have a blessed one. Bless up yourself and DJ Giovanni. God bless you all. Have a blessed one.
You're locked in listening to Sister Izzy on the Beat, man. Join me each and every Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Caribbean time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock UK and Nigeria, via YouTube and Facebook at Sis Izzy Thomas. See you there.